Hello, welcome to Cracking the Cryptic. I'm pausing the video, pausing the counter there because I've just opened one up for, this is on the 27th of June. Rodolfo wrote to us. We featured this puzzle one up right at its inception, and Rodolfo said it had a lot of good feedback from people who'd found it on the channel, and some of them are saying that the puzzles are normally a bit too easy for them. I think that's part of Rodolfo's point, is to have a sort of Wordle-style tea break puzzle most of the time. But he does like putting in some tough ones occasionally. And on the occasion of one up reaching number 100, he thought he would put in first, I think it's been a 6x6 puzzle at number 96, a 7x7 at 97, an 8x8 at 98, which I tried on my own time yesterday, 9x9 today, which I'm going to have a go at in a moment, and 10x10 tomorrow for number 100. So you can see what he's doing there. But I thought I would have a go at the puzzle today. Put together, well, I'm going to have a go today, and I'm going to have a go for what is my tomorrow, but which will be your today. And that will be the video of two puzzles. Now, since you probably won't be, I think the way the website works, I don't know if you can go back and look at older puzzles, but if you can't easily, we will put them into our software and you can play them as well. So have a look at the links under the video. Of course there are other links under the video. They feature our merchandise, like this unbelievably good Knowledge Bomb water bottle, Cracking the Cryptic there. They feature Sven's SUDOKU pad. They feature that is our merch. They feature all of our apps, which are fabulous. And they feature our Patreon site, which is where you can go to play the 600k pack. A whole bunch of disparate puzzles, almost all themed on the number 600 or 600,000. Jugglers is especially marvellous, but that is there too, and that's free on Patreon. Normally you pay $2 or $3 to join us on Patreon to get the content, but very occasionally we release something free, and that is there now. Give it a try. Anyway, there will be a link under the video to the OneUp website, but also I hope to play these puzzles, and I'm going to restart this puzzle, this 9x9 number 99 puzzle now, and see how we get on. So I didn't explain the rules. I'd better do that. In each segmented area of the puzzle, including one cell segments, I can't really highlight them. It's a different interface from normal. But you see this first segment is 2 cells. That must have the digits 1 and 2 in. So it has every digit from 1 up to n, which is the length of the segment. That's it. That's really all you need to know. And the same goes for down as well. So I'm going to put in 2 and 3 in that 1, 2, 3 segment. That's just a nice start. Now, what I learned yesterday is that sometimes it's the high numbers that matter as much. I'd assumed this was all about getting going on the low numbers. Now, in this across thing here, where can 4 go? It's got to go here because the other 2 places don't have a length of 4. And that's a useful technique as well. There is pencil marking here, and I am going to avail myself of it because why on earth not? That's not what I was trying to do. Let's use the pencil marking. 1 and 4 in those 2 cells. 1 and 2 in these. Yes, so where does 3 go in this down segment? It goes here. That also then is 1 or 2. I am definitely picking on the shorter segments for this kind of approach because otherwise there'd be a lot of pencil marking to do. 1, 2 or 3 there, 2 or 3 there, 1 or 2 here, 1 or 2 here, and that gives me a 1-2 pair. So I'm glad I did do the pencil marking approach. I might well not have spotted that another way. That is 1 or 2, that is 1 or 2, that is obviously 1 or 2. This is in a 1, 2, 3 segment. That probably is worth pencil marking, and there's a couple of them meeting in a bottom right hand corner down here. I can't say the bottom right hand corner as there are 3 corners down there. Now I'm beginning to run out of steam with the pencil marking a bit. Sometimes, oh, there's a 1-2 pair. Is there a symmetry about this puzzle around one of the axes? Ah, no, this has to be a 2. That's very obvious now. Now I can see it. I'm afraid it's taken the pencil marking for me to notice that. And I can fill in 1 and 2 there. That fixes 1 and 2 there. Obviously, you can't repeat a digit in a segment. I think that was clear even in my very brief explanation. Now, we've got some long ones, haven't we? And the long ones matter because 9 is here, but there's another pair that have a 9 in, and they intersect here, so that must be the 9. Then we can start wondering where the 8s go in the long versions. I think this is the only cell in this down entry that can possibly hold an 8. Then we could go on to 7, and I think that's going to have to be here. Then we've got 5 and 3. They just fill in. Yeah, the big numbers are sometimes the key. That was a surprising lesson to me in this puzzle. Very interesting. This one sees 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. That is a 5. These are a 3, 6 pair, and that one I'm in can't be a 6, so that's straightforward. That fixes 2, 3. That fixes 1, 2, 1 there. Now I've got 4 and 7. Well, this one can't possibly be 7, so it's 4. This one is not a 3, so that is a 3. Oh, there's a 7 here. Where? Yeah, the 7 in this down segment has to be there. This is 4 or 5. That's 4 or 5, and that's 4 or 5. This one is 2, 4 or 5. This one not only sees, this cell not only sees a 3, but now a 1, 2 pair. So that's a 4, 5 as well. And that does actually get some things sorted out there. That 1, 2 pair, I should probably be able to work out where an 8 goes in this row. I think it's got to be here, hasn't it? 8, 9, 7, 3, 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. Well, these and these can't be a 6. So that's going to have to be a 4. That's a 5. That fixes 4 there. 5, 4. When you get on a roll, these are nice and straightforward, but you kind of have to get to that position first. 2, 4, 5. This column, 1, 4, and 2. Can't actually do that. Yes, I can. This is a 1 because there isn't a 4 in its segment. Good. I think we're finishing off now. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and a 4. And there we go. So the clock finished at 6 minutes. I think I spent 11 seconds before I started recording and most of a minute explaining it. So I finished in probably just over 5 minutes. And it's not too hard. I wonder what the 10 by 10 will be like. I don't think necessarily expanding the puzzle makes it harder. I think what makes it harder is having longer segments. But we will probably learn more. You will learn more in a minute or two. I will learn more in about 24 hours when I continue this video. And here we are today with the 10 by 10 one up. Now you can't see that. I'm aware of that. Let me shift it. There we go. Okay, so let's have a go at this with the clock just having started. Same rules as yesterday. Probably, well, I was going to say same technique. Okay, I can fill in 2 and 1. Seem to have to not use the number pad. That's strange. Click there. That must be right because of this given 1. And this is another, oh, that must be a 2. So then I can do 1, 2, number pad is working after all, 3 there. Oh, look, we've got a 10 in a cell. Oh yes, I've got a button for a 10, so I don't need the number pad for that. Right. Never afraid to pencil mark. So here we go, 1 and 2 there, 1 and 2 here. Short ones, they're definitely my way into it. Actually, no, let's do a 10 in this down here. It's got to be there, hasn't it? I think it has. And that's the 10s for both downs and acrosses. Now, those cells are going to need a 9 in those segments. So this one going down seems to be the only place, and going across, I presume it's that one, because the longest we have across is a 7 in row 2 and row 4. Yeah, so they kind of have to be the 7s and 8s in those 2 rows for both of those downs. They must be right, mustn't they? I don't think I'm missing anything there, because we've got 9 and 10 filled out in. Now for the acrosses, so we've got a 7 down here and a 7 down in column 3, in column 2. I'm not seeing any others, so I think that's the 7-8 pair for the long rows across, which is weird. How are they going to get disambiguated? I wonder if I've missed a trick there. Not quite sure. Anyway, probably not my problem at the moment. Let's do some other pencil marking. 1, 2, 3s. There. And up here. 2, 3, 1, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So if I'm right, oh, that's going to have to be a 3. Yeah, that is always the case. So I can fill in the 3, 2, 1 in the down segment there. That's fine. Now in this across segment, I've got 4, 5, and 6 to place. This one I'm in can only be 4 or 5, given its size going down. Oh, this can have a 7 in. In fact, it must have a 7 in. And there's nowhere for it. So I've done something wrong with the 8s and 7s, which isn't surprising because they seem to be forming deadly patterns. So in this down segment, that was definitely right. In this down segment, see, I don't know, I think that's right too, in terms of how many acrosses can fit an 8 or a 7 in. Have I miscounted for the 9s? I don't think so. And then for the downs, we've got a down here and a down here. Oh, this one, yeah, they're both 8, but this one is 7 long. I don't know, I'm managing to confuse myself quite badly. I think I'm going to take out these 8s and 7s. Let's just not work on any basis there. In case, and because I think I must be missing some aspect. Prepared to take a bit more time over this. It certainly is harder. That 4 or 5 is definitely right. This is 2, 4, 5, or 6. Where are my friendly short entries? There really aren't enough of them to suit my taste. 1, 3, and 1, 2. Ah, this is intriguing. Right. Maybe I could work out where 2 is in this row. I don't understand what's going on with 8s and 7s. In this column, that is one place for an 8 or a 7. And this is another. And there surely aren't any others. That has to be right. I just can't accept that either of those is wrong. Both of those across rows are 8 long, so they couldn't have a 9, and they can have 7 or 8. And then in this down segment, here and here, and there isn't a third. I mean, But the trouble is that forms a deadly pattern which can never be disambiguated. I'm struggling to understand what I can be missing here. Maybe there is disambiguation that occurs in some way, but I don't understand how it will happen. Now, this down needs a 7 in it, and now it can't be in this row because of the 8-7 pair we've created, so it would have to be here. Then we need an 8 in this row, and that, well, it could be there or there. And the 8s in their columns could be, okay, well I can see that this won't be. I mean, I don't understand how that 8-7 grouping is going to get resolved. Unless I've really just missed, oh look, there's a 7, I just can't count. Okay, good. Well, I mean, it's a relief, frankly. It means I cannot write 8 and 7 into those two cells because this can be a 7. And uniqueness suggests it will be, but we're not allowed to use that because part of our raison d'etre is to prove that these puzzles only have one solution. Oh, that's taken me a long time and a lot of confusion. That can't be a 2, so we've got a 1-3 pair in this column. Everything else in the column is 4, 5 or 6. This cell can only be a 4. This one then can only be a 5, and this can only be a 6. That's a good advance. Now, we've got 2 or 3 there, which is an interesting pair in the column. This column needs a 4, 5 and 6, and this can't be a 5 or a 6 because of length. So we get to fill all of those in. 5 there. Now, this I don't think I could trust. Oh no, that was all right. I can trust that. From the down, that has to be a 4. And then one of these is 6 and one of them is 8. That's all that's left in this row. Okay. Oh, I feel happier. I do feel happier. I've not completely messed up this puzzle yet. 1, 2 pair there and there. Everything else in the column is 4, 5 or 6. That is less resolvable. That can't be 1 or 2. Oh, in this row, that's 1 or 2. So this is 3. And that fixes that these two can't be 3s. We've got 4 and 6 to put in the column. That's a 1, 2 pair. So that's a 3. That's a 2. Yes, this is going to disambiguate a lot of these babies. That's a 2, that's a 1, that's a 2, that's a 1. Good, and I've got a kind of segment of the puzzle done. This is definitely harder than the other ones that I've seen in 1UP. So Rodolfo's definitely achieved his aim there. Now, where does that leave us? 8 and 7 in this row. Surely they have to go into these two. Yes, they do. And then we're left with 1, 2 and 4, which can't be resolved. Now that could be what's going on in this row? We've had 1 and 2, 3, no, there are 2 places 3 could go. Maybe I go back to this column and try and find 8, 7s. That can be 7, that can be 7 or 8, that can be 7 or 8. Ah, this isn't able to be 6 or 5 by Sudoku. Well, let's pencil mark that more aggressively than we have done before. This is 2, 4 or 6. This one is 3 or 4. That's quite limited. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it's not really getting resolved. That seems to have been slightly unnecessary extra pencil marking. Let's do this column. 2, 3, 5. Can the bottom row yield me anything? Not that I can see. How about this row? No, 2, no, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to pencil mark this row. It's definitely harder than I'm used to. Even with my misunderstanding, miscounting a row earlier, it doesn't really matter that much. This is still a tough puzzle. And oh, 2 in this row. No, could be there or there. I mean, there's a sort of jellyfish, no, a swordfish on 2s in that row, and this row, but I could use that, couldn't I? Yeah, okay, so in this 6-digit entry, the only places for 2s are those 2. In this one, there, and there. Oh no, hang on, that comes into the equation. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, the bars make this different from a Sudoku, don't they? I mean, there are all sorts of differences from a Sudoku, if I'm honest, but the bars are why I can't consider that jellyfish. Okay, this column, we've got 2 that are 4, 5, or 6. So 3 is in one of the top 2 cells, and 1 is in one of the top 3. It's not coming any easier. Goodness me, this is quite tricky to keep a track of. I'm not going to use uniqueness, I won't do it. Doesn't matter how much you try and persuade me, it's part of our mission to prove that the puzzle has a unique solution. I couldn't be clearer. Right, that's not a 5 because it's in a 4 going downwards. So this is where 5 is. That is reasonably straightforward if I just pencil marked more correctly. Now, this is 2, 3, or 4. So is the one at the bottom. 6. Well, it could be there. But it couldn't actually, because look at this digit. This is 4, 6, 7, or 8, not 8, because it's in a 7 going across. But that gives us a 4, 6, 7, 8 quad going down, which is really interesting. That makes the other 2 cells in this down segment 1s or 3s, and now I've got a 1, 2, 3 triple across there, and that's huge. I mean, that is hard to find if it's necessary for the solve path. That is pretty difficult and quite entertaining, if I'm honest, but it does resolve a lot of these cells. So let's just keep going on what it does for me. That's a 3 now, given everything it sees. That's a 5. This is a 4. This does seem to be working now. 5 there. This one's known. That's a 2. That's a 4, 6 pair, so that's a 5. That's not a 5. That's not a 2. No, that's not a part of a 4, 6 pair when it's sitting above a definite 4. I thought it was a given digit, but I can't be certain about that. Now, that's not a 3 anymore. We've got 1, 2, 7, and 8. That one is 7 or 8 because it sees 1 and 2. So does this one. Interesting. So that's 1 or 2. That gives me a pair in row 2. A pair which I'm sure is very helpful. That can't be 3. So this is 3 in this row. No, that's not where I was trying to type it. I was trying to type it there. Oh, that's going to finish off this column, and I think we're going to get home now, but that has been quite the odyssey. No, that's a 1, that's a 2, that's a 1. There's 4 and 6 to place, still doing pencil marking. That's 8 or 7 in the row. That gives me a pair in the column, makes this a 6, that's a 4. What's missing in this? A 5. 2, 1, 5, 3. There's no 8 in this row because it's only 7 big. Wow. It's been an absolute mission, hasn't it? 7. I mean, that just shows you. I'll admit, I was a little skeptical of the level of complexity that a one-up puzzle could offer, and I have been converted. That's really quite impressive, Rodolfo. 6 there. Hopefully this is correct. There we go. 16.5 minutes. Interesting. Okay, so now I must remember before uploading that you need a version of this you can solve yourself. I guess 10s will have to be represented by a 0 in the entry mechanism, because I think we can't put a 10 in a cell. Anyway, thank you for watching. Fascinating puzzles from Rodolfo. Congratulations on reaching 100 one-up puzzles. And I shall see you for some Sudoku tomorrow. Bye for now.